Hey everyone, welcome to a little, I guess, fiber arts podcast. I know a bunch of people like have already done this before, and I know a bunch of people also wanted to see me do it because your girl loves to talk. And I thought that would be fun, just talking with the homies, sitting down with y'all and having a conversation. And I know usually people create stuff during these podcasts, either you're knitting, crocheting, whatever it may be, and I do want to do that eventually, but for now I kind of have a different idea. I wanted to basically frog these with you. So this is a holographic S top. Actually I have both of these patterns. I tested for both of them and I'll link them down below. And there's this almost like sailor top kind of shirt. I'm frogging them because this one just didn't fit me right. I lost weight. Basically this is the same thing for these two. Kept losing weight, so this became like just too big, and I kind of want to redo that top again in a different color, in a solid color. Because if you couldn't tell, it has like that kind of like optical illusion, and I want to do it in a like solid color because I feel like even though this is beautiful and it reminds me of like a church and everything like that, it's just not hitting as much as I would like to. And I'm frogging this because again it's too big. I made this like over a year ago now, and I am in love with this giant ass sleeves that I made, but it's not fitting me. And I probably said this already in one of my videos, but I'm a chronic frogger because I generally love the yarn I have. Oh my god, sorry, I just couldn't stop sneezing. But what I was saying is that I genuinely love the yarn that I buy, and if I don't love it, I give it away or I donate it. And I'm trying to save some cash, and I've just been my style has been changing over the years, and so obviously like I'm gonna end up frogging things, and because I'm not clicking anymore with the things that I like, and I think that's fine, honestly. And I feel like that should be normalized more in the community, because even though crochet and knit and fiber arts is like a slower pace, slow fashion, or just a slower pace hobby, I feel like with all the consumerism and capitalism and everything, all these yarn and patterns are like pushed onto us, and they're quite literally like always bombarding us, and we feel like we always have to buy the certain things. And don't get me wrong, I also fall into those structures, and I mean, who doesn't? But I love reusing yarn. I've been only buying really secondhand yarn. The only yarn that I've bought new was, I guess, the hobby yarn, but this I'm not doing this, but my hobby yarn for a campaign I'm doing with them, and that was gifted to me, so I don't really count that as buying. But that's the only new yarn I've recently gotten. Actually, let me show you the yarn I've actually gotten secondhand. Hold on. Okay, yes, I put the yarn in this. Fun fact, this is also secondhand at Scraps in SF. When I saw it, I had to get it. But these are the yarns that I've gotten recently, and these are both secondhand. From I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's just a secondhand yarn fiber arts kind of place. They also sell like fabric and stuff like that, and basically it's like very dangerous. And I haven't gone there yet because I'm currently on a budget, and also I just haven't had the time, honestly. But here's the first yarn. It is sparkly. I hope it's picking it up. It's pretty much picking it up, honestly. It has tones of purples and blues, and if you didn't know me, I love purples and blues, and also green, you know. like this green. But this is Blue Heron's yarn in dusk. It's a beaded metallic wool. There's 25 ounces, I don't know, 4 ounces, 250 yards. So hand wash with neutral soap. So I'm freaking in love with this yarn. Are you kidding me? I saw this and it reminded me of like just like those space illustrations that you see everywhere, and just like honestly it just reminded me of a supernova, so I have to get that. And also purple and blue is this kind of like, I guess, t-shirt yarn, I want to say, in a way. Oh, this was 15 bucks and this one was $6, and this is genuine soy silk in the color Water Lilies. It's a bulky ribbon yarn, and it's by I can't read the name because it's covered by this thing. Oh, actually there's no name, but it was hand painted in South Australia, stranded in Oz, and this is also hand washed in cold water, dry flat, away from the sun. So, and that's another thing, I've been putting them in here because I've realized that the sun really affects certain yarn colors, especially purples and blues, and like, again, that's all that I've been loving. That's all that I am, purples and blues. So yeah, let's get into the little podcast video. I don't know. But basically, I think I've seen mostly people talk about stuff on the fiber arts or fiber arts drama, or just like anything related to that kind of thing. And I do love that. Like, I do love that, and that will probably happen a lot of time because we're gonna be geeking over yarn and, you know, stuff that I've learned regarding fiber arts and stuff like that. But I love to talk. You guys know this. I love to talk. So I of course went to my Instagram and asked everyone, well, asked 3 sets of questions. For this video, I'm only going to be doing the 1 set of questions just because it's more like, I guess, related to what I wanted to do today. And for this one, I asked things you like and dislike about the fiber community, okay? And y'all didn't miss. Y'all really let me know what you enjoy and very much don't enjoy. So let's get into it. But before that, I guess we can start with this top, because this is a little bit daunting, honestly. So we'll go with this. So let's take out the stitch markers. Also, I don't know if anyone does this, but I use a bento box to hold my stuff because it just is more efficient for me to move around. I used to have a rolly cart, and I still have the rolly cart, but I just had too much supplies, so I kind of had to move it. But you know, that's my demons. So let's find where even I closed this. I'm sure it was right here, because this seems very just like bulky, and I always close these things for knowing for a fact I'll never frog them. But hey, I frogged so many of my pieces, I feel like I should have learned. And I kind of learned in a way where I leave like a little bit of like a tail purposely, so if I want to frog it, I can just, you know, that's where I am, and pull it out, go in with my needle and everything, and just, you know, slowly take it out. This yarn, by the way, the main color, the blue, light blue, is by Hobby. It's a rainbow line. Sorry, Hobby. I keep saying Hobby. I'm sorry. You guys know it. And I believe it's the rainbow 8 yarn. They're basically size 3 DK weight yarn. But yeah, I'm having a hard time finding actually where else does this go. Oh man. Okay, well, while I struggle with this, let's read the first question. not the first question, the first response to the question. I love having such a variety of yarn fibers to pick from, and I hate people who dunk on using acrylic. Okay. Why do people have to hate others for things that they enjoy? Okay, these things are not causing harm. I mean, relative harm to others, and also like sometimes acrylic yarn is the only yarn that a lot of people can use because one, that's the only one they can afford to buy, and also two, they usually come in bulk. And as a plus size person, I love using acrylic because I can buy it in bulk and know that I won't run out. And three, a lot of people, especially myself, I have eczema, so I feel like when I use wool, even though I love wool, it causes my hand to react really badly. And you know, I have breathing issues. I have asthma triggered by allergies, so that also is a big thing. And also for acrylic, it's just easier to clean. I feel like I just throw my acrylic things in the wash on delicate, obviously, and they just are easier to wash than the wool, because every wool piece I wash, even when it's super wash, it's just not the best. And I had never learned, and I'm just like really regret it. But you know, maybe one day I will fully learn not to do that. But I agree, I hate people who dunk on acrylic as well. It's like, mind your own business, for real. And the next reply, they mentioned that the elitism, sorry, I have a list and also have an accent. Elitism, which is the, oh my god, the elitism, the amount I see people shit on acrylic fibers, which are financially and physically accessible. Again, these people get it. You're my kind of people, and that's why, you know, we're mutuals and everything, because you'll get it. You'll get it. And the next one says, I like that everyone is so supportive. It's a proper community. I do love this community. When I first started, I made it my job, basically my sole purpose, to make friends with everyone, because I know a lot of people also struggle with this, but in their like in real life setting, not a lot of people they know do fiber arts or craft in general and stuff like that, because I feel like when you grow older, people start feeling that silly, and like I just feel like they're silly, okay? But it's really hard. So when I first got in here and I saw how supportive everyone was, I really enjoyed that. And I even created a little Discord back in the day for, you know, people to connect and everything. And I know that's not anything new. I know a lot of bigger creators have Discord, but as a smaller creator, I wanted to like create that space so people would feel comfortable and, you know, mingle a little bit, because I honestly needed to mingle also as well. So it gave me a safe space, and I just wanted other people to have safe space as well. And I do miss that Discord a lot, but you know, I laugh at this answer because I know that the fiber arts community is very like drama filled, and I've had my fair share of drama. So now I'm kind of like hesitant to make friends with people. One, because I feel like when you talk online and everything, sometimes things don't come out. The communication is really hard, and it's like easily twisted, or it's easily like misunderstood. And secondly, I made a mistake of like, when I make friends, you're my friend. Like, I will tell you my deepest, darkest secret. But some people only wanted to talk in relative terms of like just fiber arts, and that's fine, but I feel like sometimes I put myself out there too much, and then I get hurt from these type of people. And so that's mostly why I took out my Discord. And you know, now I've started to like restrain myself from making friends. It sounds really bad, but it's more to like, you know, protect my peace, I guess. But yeah, this same person says they dislike when people gatekeep yarn. Tell me, I want to know. I really, really hate this. But also, I am the culprit where I don't put what kind of yarn I use. Mostly because I just forget and I'm lazy. But if you ask me, I will like go out of my way to tell you. Like, I'm that kind of person. But I do hate the people where they're like, oh, it's this type of yarn. And they're not like specifically saying like which yarn it is. So yeah. And I get it, because then people will start buying it. Sometimes you're scared of it to get out of stock and all that kind of thing and whatever. But it's just not the vibe, I feel like. You know, we gotta help each other out. We can't afford to be gatekeeping in this economy, y'all. Okay. The next person says, I really dislike the constructive criticism that it's not constructive at all and just plain rude. Also, people always talk about how when you post things online, you're asking to get hate or what should be ready to take hate. But I think that the idea is so dumb personally. Like, some people just post for fun. Of course, they don't expect to get hate for sharing something they made recently. I 100% agree. Why do you think it's okay to hate on people in general? And also, social media is literally just a silly little game. Okay? Let's be real. It's just a silly little game, and people can post whatever the heck they want. But people get scared for obvious reasons of people just spewing hate and quote unquote constructive criticism. And I really hate this, because like, I feel like thankfully I haven't gotten like too bad of like hate or quote unquote constructive criticism in a way like that. But I know a lot of other creators, especially bigger creators or creators that people see more of their content, they definitely get hate. And that's a thing too. It's like, the bigger you are, the more exposure you have to people outside of the community, sadly, and they don't understand. And even when people in the community, you know, be your own people sometimes. Like, I started posting for fun and because I found this new hobby. Also, sorry, I finally got this out. It's starting to look like noodles. And sorry, my painting just fell. I just realized that I need to get rid of the outer part. And I just somehow undid the body part. Hold on. Let's retrack our steps and see where I can do this. But yeah, I totally agree with people just having the audacity is just so annoying. It's like, we can't even be human right now. And also, it gives me like the same vibe as like, I don't know if, okay, this might be a little bit spoiler alert for the Barbie movie, but it gives me very much like Ken vibes, and where like you think you know all that because you act a certain way or are a certain way, and also you feel like you can talk to people a certain way because you like them, or you have this like weird relationship with them where it's like, what's it called, not interpersonal relationship, but parasocial relationships, where people view your stuff online and somehow they're like, feel like they can say shit about it. Yeah, very, very annoying. And I'm sorry that you get hate and constructive criticism, quote unquote. You don't deserve it. No one deserves it. And I get how it's hard when you're a bigger like creator and you you do that as your job, but it doesn't get easier. I expect, not at all. The next person says, I dislike how there is such a focus on overproduction. Yeah, let's read that first. Dislike how there's such a focus on overproduction. And I agree. Like, again, I mentioned earlier, like, crochet and knitting are slower fashion, but I still think with social media and like TikTok and Instagram, YouTube, people see each other and then they're like, oh, that person can create so many things in like a week. Why can I only create like this much in like a month or something like that, right? And I think again it goes back to like the capitalism and overproduction of everything, basically, not just clothes, but like, especially with people who are outside of the fiber arts community, they're like, oh my god, can you make me this like sweater with matching matching pants in like a month? And that's already like such little time for that, and it's crazy. But I feel like we put this pressure on ourselves, and like, it's almost at the same time too, I feel like guilty as a creator for posting so much or creating so much, because naturally I'm just like a little bit faster at creating stuff, because ADHD and hyperfixation. So I always have a lot of things to post, and I've kind of slowed that down in a way for my mental health, to also just focus on, you know, myself and like this transition period in my life. I lost my point of thought, but what I'm saying is that like, it's easy to get into like the groove of being creating and not really like analyzing and like feeling actual joy in what you are doing because of like the overproduction, I feel like. And the same person says they dislike the fat phobia. Honey, don't I know it? I feel like I haven't gone through as much as the really bad fat phobia in our community more than others, just because I feel like, I don't know, honestly, because I feel like I'm still like sort of in the normal range, quote unquote, whatever that means. But when people are just like bigger than a large or XL, people are very quick to like just ignore that aspect of it. Because I feel like when people think of fat, they still think of like the smaller fat people, if that makes sense. I know other fat people will probably understand what I'm saying, but it's like, you're only the desirable fat if you're like skinny waist, big ass, big thighs and stuff like that. But if you're not, then you're just like not at all seen that much, I feel like, in the crochet community. And when I first started testing, I actually wanted to test a lot of patterns because I was really seeing the lack of representation in mid-size to plus-size bodies, and I still do. I still see it a lot, and I stopped because a lot of pattern creators kind of like don't understand that something that it takes longer to make a garment when you are plus size. And it's like they'll be giving these like testing periods, like, oh, create this whole top in like 2 to 3 weeks. Like, that's not possible, honey. Like, it's very, very hard, and especially if you're, you know, living life and not just crocheting all day or knitting all day. And it really get disheartened seeing these type of things, especially from like creators that are super like talented. And it goes back again to like the separating art from the artist kind of scenario. But like, that's very hard for me to do. Like, I cannot do that. I'm sorry. If you can do that, then good for you. But even if you create the most beautiful thing and you're like a shit person, I'm not gonna like what you create, because it just feels like it's like you, like an ugly person, you know? So that's my say with it. Also, I just want to show you guys like how noodly this looks. It's so cute. So I'm like creating 2 balls and, you know, frogging it slowly because again, this is like a holographic kind of stitch, so it's just like intertwined very much together. So I'm just pulling it simultaneously. Okay, and the same person says they like the collaboration and sharing of work. Yes, this is like my favorite part of the crochet community and, you know, Instagram and stuff like that, because it's kind of like a big show and tell kind of thing, right? Like Instagram and TikTok, it's just our scrapbook and we're all just kind of putting our pictures and our little stickers on it and reactions and just, you know, sharing it with another. And I feel like that's cute. It's like a little yearbook kind of thing. And that's my favorite part. I love seeing everyone's creations, and I just get so inspired by everything that everyone creates. It's crazy how talented people are. The next person says they hate the demonizing of wool. I'm not really too familiar. Well, that's a lie. I think I know some at a point where it's like, you know, not, how do I say this? Like, wool is demonized because you're taking it from an animal. I don't know. I honestly, if you guys know more about it and would like to have a conversation with me, I would love to know more about that whole subject, because I feel like I'm just not too, like, equipped to really talk about it too much. Oh my god, I just realized the yarn, because this is a hand-dyed yarn, right? Hold on. This is hand-dyed yarn from Yarn Cafe Creations. It's stained the hobby yarn. Like, I don't know if you guys can see it. It's stained it a little bit. But that's cute. I like that. Anyways, back to the replies. I hate how we feel pressured to post all the time. We should just enjoy the process. But the best thing about the community is that everyone's so supportive and can feel the love. Again, yes, I definitely feel the pressure. And lately, honestly, I've been kind of distancing myself from Instagram. Although I still need to go back because I'm part of a lot of like testing groups, and also like currently working with certain companies and certain things like that. But I have been distancing myself for a little bit. I've been not purposely, but taking a break at the moment from posting on there, because I just felt like I got burnt out, and like I just felt that pressure that you're saying to post all the time and also to interact all the time, when I feel like we should just, you know, be enjoying the process. I always tell this to people, like, feel free, like, don't feel like pressured to like any of my things or interact with any of my things. I just want like genuine reactions and connections, and not because like you feel like you have to. And I know a lot of people in the community feel like they have to sometimes, because it's the only way that you can get that connection with other people, sadly, and like be out of drama in a way. I don't know if that makes sense, but people in the fiber arts community probably know what I mean. But I just legit just don't care. Like, if you guys like it and you want to interact, go for it. If not, then like it's okay. Like, even if you just leave a like and not share a comment, like that's just fine with me. I'm trying not to pressure anyone, because I know I feel that pressure as well. Okay. Oh wait. Okay, so this ball ended already. Just roll this up. I think the ball continues on the bottom on the other side, so we shall just place that here. Actually, I feel like I have more of this yarn, and I don't know where it is. I'm not sure what I'm gonna make with the Yarn Cafe Creation yarn. I said yarn too much times in the sentence. I might make like a little shawl or something. That's cute, little bandana. That's cute. Okay, back to the responses though. think my camera is about to die, so I might have to restart. So let's just restart here. Okay, next response is, I love the inspo I get from all the talented artists. I feel like it pushes me to be better. That's good. That's another take on, you know, the kind of the same realm of having the pressure to post all the time. But I agree. Oops, sorry if my camera moved a little bit. It kind of like tilted and fell. But back to the replies. I love the inspo I get from all the talented artists, and I feel like it pushes me to be better. And I agree. I feel like just the sheer amount of talent that I see every day, it like inspires me to create. And sometimes in a way, I feel like it definitely pushes me to be better, because I feel like seeing people, I'm like, okay, I need to learn more, because I want to do that. I want to get on their level, and that's how I've been just able to learn things. But at the same time, I feel like it also puts me in like kind of a decision paralysis, and it doesn't help with my bajillion whip piles. And so when I see those things, like I feel like I did this with knitting, where I'm like, oh my god, I gotta learn how to knit, even though I have like 10 plus projects that I need to do. And you know, I still did it. I still made the time to learn how to knit, and whew, my god, the fibers are flying everywhere. I still made it an effort to learn how to knit, because that's what I wanted to do, okay? But at the same time, I feel like I felt pressure to it, because it was like what everyone was doing, and everyone was creating such amazing things, and I just wanted to get on that level. But at what cost, really? You know, like, you need to, at least for me, I need to like weigh my options and be like, okay, that is something I want to learn, but is it something I have the capacity to learn at the moment with everything that's happening? And sometimes I just go ahead and do it, even though the answer is no. But I feel like that's something that we need to also be thinking when it comes to like seeing all the posts of from talented people and all that things, because my neurospicy brain is just like, yeah, let's do that, and if you don't do it, you're worthless. But that's tea for my brain. I want to always relate everything now to the Barbie movie, because I just love that movie. Okay, let's just talk about that a little bit. Okay, the Barbie movie, I was going into it thinking it was gonna be a cute, like, silly movie. I did the whole Oppenheimer Barbie event, so we watched Oppenheimer first and then Barbie. So after Oppenheimer, I was just like dissociating, existential crisis, thinking about everything and being like, wow, humans are kind of awful. I mean, that movie was very much like not black and white and just very gray, but like inherently humans are awful in the way where we like are very like selfish, and we want to like do things and learn things at the hands of other people. And also I learned that the government just like weaponizing nerds, like especially the US government, we just love weaponizing nerds and like using their big brains to, you know, create nukes, which is fucking crazy. I don't know why that was a thought. When I see a nerd, I'm like, hey, you want to make a Lego set? Nah, nuclear bomb. But hey, I guess maybe that's why I'm not president of the United States. But hopefully maybe I will. But that goes to my transition Barbie. And we watched Barbie after, and I was so excited because I was like, okay, it's gonna be a cute little movie. You know, I've watched all the Barbies growing up with is it Mariposa and like Barbie Mermaid and all that stuff, and the Tale of Two Princesses or whatever. And I love Bibble, so I was freaking excited. Okay, I mostly was a Bratz girl, but I love watching the Barbie movies. So I was just excited. And boy, I wasn't expecting that movie to be the way it was, in a good way. Okay, I was crying the whole time. I was crying already, maybe like 10 minutes in. I'm an emotional wreck, but maybe it was because I watched Oppenheimer first. But that's what happened. And you know, I've just been having existential crises in many aspects. And I love Barbie because honestly, it's just an awesome movie to watch if you identify as a woman, if you grew up as a woman. And just like, if honestly, even like, even if you're a guy and you suffer from the hands of patriarchy, you can relate, and it feels very gratifying. Like, I learned a lot from the movie about myself and how I feel about death and aging, and how my like gender identity and my relationship with myself and fellow women, and also with men, romantically, platonically. It was just a crazy movie, and I felt like it changed my perspective so much. And everyone's like, oh, it's just like a silly like doll movie. That's what I thought too, but guess what? That's not what we got, okay? And I've just been seeing all the content on TikTok. It's been crazy. And also seeing all the rude ass comments from like men being like, this was such a horrible movie. This is like mini feminism or something like that. And it's so funny how they basically show that the movie is true. The aspects of Ken and everything like that, it's just on the dot. And I love Greta, and I love her directing style, and I love Margot Robbie and everyone, Issa Rae and everyone in that movie. Oh my god, their acting was just spectacular. And there were so many, like every single scene, I feel like there wasn't anything that was just there to be there. You know, it had a purpose and like tale to be told. But I digress. I could talk about Barbie all day. Let's go on to the next response. This person says, I dislike the yarn classism in the community. People looking down on others for using acrylic yarn instead of expensive indie yarn. Okay, what is going on? Because I feel like everyone is putting this right now. Like, wow, I did not know this is how like intense y'all feel about this topic. And you know what, I'm kind of here for it, because I hate people who also shame people for doing things that, you know, they need to do or can only do because that is the only way that they can do that thing. And I feel like it's just such a weird thing to be like, hey, you don't use acrylic yarn, you must be horrible. And so it's just, or not, you don't use acrylic, you don't use indie yarn, that's horrible. Okay, first of all, this yarn, Cafe Creation yarn, oh my god, it's so teeny. I love it, it's good quality, but it's expensive. Okay, I got 4 skeins and it's like very, very expensive. It's probably like I could get, let's say I forgot how much it was, but it was probably around like 50 or something like that. I could get like 10 big skeins of acrylic yarn, and that's what I love about acrylic yarn. Okay, so there's no acrylic yarn slander in this house. All right, there's a lot of classism I see in the in the crochet and knit community too, not just with yarn, but just like with other stuff as well, such as like what type of needles you use, what type of hook you use, even like in a way where this is not classism, but this is just like, I guess, slut shaming in a way, and like the way people wear things that they've made and purposely have like cutouts or like this where it's like see-through, and people are just like, what's the point of making a shirt and stuff like that. And I'm like, to be hot, okay, we're hot, and this is why we're making these type of clothes. Okay, shush, I'm sorry you can't get on our hot energy, but those kind of things just irk me, where it's like, it's not hurting you, it's not hurting anyone. Like, there's no need to, like, start up a fight. And if you do, meet me out in the back, okay? Because I will fight for my community. The next one, also the last one, is pressure to make new things all the time. Assuming they dislike that. And again, all these things that have come back and forth in the replies, and I just gotta say that, you know, like, same with fast fashion, that my problem with fast fashion is that it's going only towards, like, trends and not actually, like, personal style. And I feel like with the overproduction and pressure to make things a lot in the fiber arts community, it's the same way, where, like, you create things and then you end up frogging them because you thought that was your style, or thought, you know, you wanted to make it quickly, even though you realize it doesn't fit you because you want to, you know, meet a deadline or get on the trends and stuff like that. And, you know, I don't think that trends are necessarily bad, because they're fun, you know, they're just add a little bit of spice to this, you know, crafting of fiber arts. Because inherently I feel like fiber arts is supposed to be calming, and, you know, that's why a lot of us newer spicy people do it, because it calms us down. But, you know, people's, with trends and stuff like that, it also helps shine, like, people's personality, I feel like. But I do wish we went into a more, like, personalized style aspect of things, because I would love to see what people create just without the pressure of what's trendy or what views will get the most views and all that kind of stuff, because I feel like I rarely see that. And even if I do, it's like, again, in a way where that creator is still somewhat, you know, problematic in many senses. And, like, I'm not one to judge at all with how people live their life. And I'm just a person, like, if I don't like it, I'll just unfollow, or I won't say anything unless they're actually harming people, like, you know, spreading misinformation about certain things. Then we have a problem there. But usually I stay quiet and just move on, because I don't find the need or relevance to, like, go out of my way to basically educate people to why they are incorrect. Not incorrect, but, like, you know, start up that conversation. And I know, because people who are that way are just very, like, kind of set in their ways, and, like, a lot of people, not just those type of people, but we're all set in our ways, and that's why it's really hard to have conversation with people via internet. Because I feel like it's different when you talk with someone in real life about these subjects, because I think I've kind of, like, experienced that in a way where I talk to my friends that I've met through the community online, and then I meet them in real life, and we talk about the same things, and it's just a different kind of atmosphere, different kind of reaction, because we're more connected and in the same room, I feel like, rather than through a screen where things just, like, get misunderstood and stuff like that. Especially with, you know, people who are newer spicy and stuff. Like, it's really hard to already communicate with people in general. Like, I have ADHD, and sometimes I literally be talking to people on Instagram, remember something that I need to do, go away, come back, and, like, the tone of the conversation is just different because I got distracted and everything like that. So I feel like in that way it's, like, better to talk about those things in person. But I'm, like, rambling, but I digress. Like, what I've learned from the responses that I've gotten is that, you know, everyone needs to chill. let people make their own decision what yarn do you want to make. Of course, if it's something like harmful to, you know, just harmful in general, you can talk to them nicely, try to educate them. If not, you know, don't. Oh, I just want to add this, because when you try to educate people out of hate, they're not gonna learn. Like, if you go about it in a way where they're like, you basically are kind of attacking them and calling them out instead of, you know, really like talking to them and communicating well with them, then it's not gonna even work. And that's why I just tend to not talk to people if I have a problem, because it really does take a lot of emotional effort to make sure that the conversation is productive, right? So that, okay. And another point that I learned reading through all the responses is that we need to focus on ourselves and create things for ourselves and slow it down a little bit. And, you know, just keep helping each other, like lift up each other and not putting each other down. Because at the end of the day, I mean, every community is going to have drama. I feel like when people are like saying that the fiber arts community has drama, that's like confusing to them, because they thought it's chill. Every community has drama, okay? But yeah, thanks for joining me. So far, this is what I've frogged, okay? And I'll continue frog this currently right now. I like need to sneeze so much, like the fiber and the wool fragments are just flying everywhere. So, you know, hope y'all have a good rest of your day. And, you know, just continue to take care of yourself, be safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.